Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505. My name is Nick. If you are new to the channel, welcome to this amazing YouTube channel. Not really. I don't want to be a narcissist now. Uh, but if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Today, me and Tyler, we're continuing our epic journey through the AC/DC catalog. And on the bottom is the new guy, Scott.
Yep, I'm joining. I actually joined in the last video, but just for the sake of my name, I'm joining now. I'm the new guy, referencing the new guy, Brian Johnson, who's the new singer on this album.
Yes. So this is their sixth studio album. Tyler, take it away if you have any background information.
All right. So, January of 1980, they finished their tour for the Highway to Hell tour. And then February 19th or the 18th, Bon Scott goes out for a good time, a good night of drinking. And then he passed out in the car, in his friend's car. His friend couldn't get him out of the car, so he just left him there, put a blanket on him, and went up into his apartment, left a little note saying, "Hey, come into my apartment when you wake up." And he didn't wake up, he died. He went the way of John Bonham. He drank too much and he died. I think it was also because he threw up and was laying down flat, and he just choked to death. Very sad.
That's how Jimi Hendrix died.
Oh, yeah, him too. But yeah, he was, Bon Scott was 33 at the time. Very, very young still. So yeah, you just had your most successful album and your singer is now dead. So where do you go from here? So the guys, almost quit, and Bon's parents say, "Hey, Bon would have wanted you to keep going, so keep going." And so they go back and they have to recruit a new singer. And they find this guy, Brian Johnson from Geordie. He had been a little singer in the 70s. Bon Scott had actually recommended him if something had happened to him. So Brian Johnson at the time was out of work. He was working at a car mechanic shop because that was his other passion, was cars. And he had done a Hoover vacuum commercial. He sang a little jingle, and they went over and auditioned in it. And the rest is history. And then when they go to record this album, all the studios in London were occupied at the time, and Atlantic wanted some tax breaks, so they sent Back in Black and Mutt Lange and all the crew down to Jamaica, or no, the Bahamas, to Compass Point Studios. So this was recorded in the Bahamas. And yeah, and then, we have the Mutt Lange production touch on this album again, and kind of a more aggressive, darker sound to this album, a little bit heavier. This is, I think, kind of why AC/DC sometimes gets lumped in the heavy metal genre. So a lot of these are kind of heavier, darker riffs. But yeah, we have our new singer, Brian Johnson. Let me a little inner sleeve here. We have all the same people, and we have our new guy right here. We got Brian. And by design, AC/DC wanted a singer that was very different from Bon Scott, just so people wouldn't start comparing him. And yeah, Brian Johnson took over writing the lyrics, just like Bon did. So yeah, this was recorded in about 6 weeks or something like that. And yeah, they put it all together and released it. The band requested a simple black cover as a sign of mourning. Embossed, very simple, and it became their best album. Most successful album. Eventually sold 50 million copies, 50 times platinum. This album is the best-selling album, rock album. The best-selling album for any band. But yeah, this is one of the best-selling albums of all time, second to Thriller by Michael Jackson, of course. Yeah, that's pretty much all the background information I have on this.
Cool. What are you guys' brief thoughts on this album before we start reviewing it?
I know this is going to be Tyler's Abbey Road review. Like if I was reviewing Abbey Road, this is Tyler's great big number one, I think, when it comes to albums. I had definitely heard songs, a lot of songs from this album before, just from radio. But I'd never listened to the full album until Tyler was like, we gotta go through all AC/DC's albums, and so he bought all the records. We listened through all of them. And it is a big contrast having Brian Johnson rather than Bon Scott on this album. What Brian Johnson does good is fitting in with AC/DC's style. That still you hear him, it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely AC/DC, but still sounding unique from Bon Scott. Like, he's not just a Bon Scott impersonator. Journey. He actually has his own unique voice that's also uniquely AC/DC, but it's also uniquely Brian Johnson and not just a Bon Scott clone.
Cool. I will say my brief thoughts because, again, I'm agreeing with you, Scott. It's probably Tyler's big Abbey Road moment. Well, this is his Who sellout moment, so I'll let him share his brief thoughts last. Going into this, before the AC/DC series, if you would have asked me how I felt about this album, I would have been like, this is probably one of the most overrated albums of all time. But that's how I felt about Moving Pictures by Rush. If you know how I feel about Moving Pictures now, my opinion has changed. And, well, spoiler alert, my opinion has changed on this album too, for the better. Yay. Congrats. For me, great journey for me. I like when stuff grows on me. I don't like when I don't like something. I like to like pretty much everything.
Nick,
but I don't.
I have a little bit of a prediction. I think you're gonna like the next album even better. For those about to rock, the Canon album. I think you're gonna like that one even better.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I will say, despite that, this is not one of my all-time favorite AC/DC albums because I will say, Brian Johnson just got into the band, so he's new. He's working with the other guys for the first time. So, I mean, even the High Voltage album, I prefer, even though I prefer Bon Scott. Even Bon Scott had not trouble, but it was just his first album. So, even he had to work through things before he got really, really good. He worked himself up to Highway to Hell and Power Age, and then, of course, he passed away, of course. So, you're probably right, Scott. Maybe the next album he really improves.
But you can tell right away from the first track, though. Oh, the first track on the next album is something else.
Cool, but yeah, this is a really good album. I gave it a really good score. Yeah, it's gonna be my favorite thoughts.
All right, this is gonna be my favorite album from AC/DC. I started listening to their discography back in 2020 when their most recent album came out. And I had, so I decided, let me go back and listen to all these albums. I had listened to Back in Black before, just because I knew some of the songs from the Iron Man movies, and so I had the album. I think I bought a digital version of it, but then I listened through them all again, and I was like, oh my goodness, Back in Black is so good. Like every song is amazing on here. This is my favorite album from them. So yeah, we'll get into those are my brief thoughts.
Is this your favorite album of all time, or?
That's still up in the air.
Okay. Well, we get to the very first song on the album, "Hell's Bells." The order will be like it was last video. Scott goes first, then it's Tyler, then it's me.
Bong.
Exactly. So we start out with Bells, and you can take that as either an ominous opening for the album or the morning of Bon Scott. And then you get this guitar riff comes in, bow down, bow down, down. And right off the bat, you can tell that Brian Johnson fits right in with this band. Like his voice just fits the sound. It does it's like a punch in the gut whenever he enters, and he goes really well with Phil Rudd's drumming. Phil Rudd's drumming on this is very good. My one complaint with this song is like, why are these guys so obsessed with hell? Like, that's a choice. That's just my critique of this song, and as well as like some other songs, but like that's just my personal beef, I guess.
All right, yeah, this is a really good opening track. One of their, again, AC/DC always likes to give really good opening tracks to really grab your attention, and kind of give you the sound of how this album's going to play out. And yeah, the bells are a nice touch. The awesome guitar riff, Brian Johnson's vocals cut through. You have to wait quite a while to hear him, because you have the bells, and then the intro goes on for a little bit before Brian finally starts singing. Yes, it's very. I think this one and the next song are a good opener for this album. I love this. Is a good song.
Yeah, this is a good opening. I think it's a good song. I told Tyler and Scott that I do have a hot take in this video, and I did say it was early. This is it. This is my least favorite song on the album.
Fair.
Good. It's good.
Fair.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not like, oh, this is trash. You know, like I'm not gonna. Oh, this is garbage. Oh, I'm not.
No. Not the garbage can.
It's good. It's good. That's about it. It's a good opener. I will say this is one of 3 songs I hear on the radio from the Hawk and ZZO, and of the 3 songs, this is the one I'm like, does this really have to be the song that represents this album? I'm like, there's other songs.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that statement. I feel like Shoot to Thrill and Back in Black are much better. Oh no.
We lost our host.
Uh-oh. He got kicked out. Has Angus the Wrath of Angus kicked?
He got duck walked on.
Sorry, guys. My Chrome kicked me out.
We thought it was Angus for dissing the song.
As you were saying, Scott.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with that opinion. I feel like Shoot to Thrill and Back in Black are much better songs of the 3 that I like. You hear on the radio a lot, and I like the other 2 a lot better. In fact, I'm not even sure this is going to be in my top 5.
It's not in my top 5 either.
Okay,
there's another particular song that everyone seems to hate on that may in fact actually be in my top 5 for this album, because when I listened to it, because I remember listening to the first. Well, I'll save my opinion for that song when we get to it.
Well, it makes me happy now that it's not in either one of yours top 5. I would have felt really bad, but that's my big hot take. This is my least favorite song on the album. It's good, but I don't get why this was played on the radio too much.
Fair enough. I feel like this should have been the side. They should have reversed it and put this as the side 2 opener, I guess, and then Back in Black is just the side 1 opener, because Back in Black is the ultimate. Here's Brian Johnson moment.
Yeah.
Like if they'd have done that, like your first thing you hear on the new, it's like here's the new AC/DC.
It also showcases how great Angus is with the guitar. It just showcases Angus. It shows Brian Johnson. It would have been a much better showcase. I don't. That's probably another small reason why it's my least favorite song on the album. It's not really the best opening song. Here's one more thing before we go out. The bookends are my favorite. Everything, like most of everything in between the album is pretty good. I like most of the in between stuff, but I don't know, the first and last song are not my favorites. I don't think it opens up that strong, and I don't think it closes that strong either. It's not going to affect my score at all, but
this may need a resequencing episode.
Yeah, if the sequence was better, this would be like my second or third favorite AC/DC album.
I know the tracks are in a different order on the back. Like maybe that's just artistic whatever, or maybe that's the original order for the album, but I don't know.
But yeah, that's just my one critique. If the sequencing was right, it would be my second or third favorite. But that's my only critique about the sound is the sequencing. But we get to the next song in the album. Shoots a Thrill.
Shoot to thrill, play to kill.
Okay, so you start out with this guitar riff, bow down down down, bow down down down, bow bow, and then like the guitar goes, and then you got Phil Rudd coming in, Cliff Williams coming in, Malcolm coming in. And it just like keeps building and building, and then Brian Johnson comes in, this like, and then whenever you get to the pull it, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Whenever he goes to the high note, and you get the chorus, and Angus Young, like he is on every song on this album, just goes crazy. Angus Young is probably the most unpredictable guitar player that I know. And I mean that in the best possible way. Like, every time I hear an Angus Young guitar solo, it sounds like literally he just, like, drank 2 liters of Coke, had a big box of candy, and, like, but I have no idea what I'm about to play, but I'm just gonna go for it. And somehow it all makes sense. That's the best way I can describe Angus Young's guitar playing.
That's what he did. He didn't do drugs. He didn't drink. He smoked a whole lot, but he just ate a lot of chocolate, had a lot of sugar, and that was his energy on stage.
But Angus Young is very unpredictable and spontaneous with his guitar playing, and it really works for this one.
Yeah, this is a great song to. I would have liked this to be maybe the first song or something. I don't know, but this is, I love this song. This is my favorite song on the album. Is Shoot the Thrill. Yeah, the opening. I love the opening riff. The rhythm section on this song is amazing. Malcolm is the monster behind the magic of AC/DC with his riffs and his rhythm playing, and of course Phil Rudd is just going crazy and he's holding the groove down. And then Cliff Williams actually is doing a lot. He's doing a lot in this song. If you really listen to the bass, he's going all over the place with the bass. And one thing I really like is the breakdown after the solo, where you have the drum. It's Angus and Phil Rudd. They're doing this breakdown right after the solo ends, and it's a nice little break, because I don't know a whole lot of breakdowns that they do. They usually just do the solo and go right into the next verse or chorus. This is a nice change of pace, and I really appreciate this part of the song. And it's just a fun time. It's good stuff.
I'm gonna keep on the positive train going. This song is awesome. This is in my top 5 at least. It's a great song. Is this the song you were talking about that was popular but wasn't released as a single?
Yeah, this was like a live.
How is this not a single?
It's not a single.
My question is, how is this not a single and Hell's Bells was? That confuses me.
What?
Oh.
This is way better than Hell's Bells. And I don't hear this song at all on The Hawk or ZZO. It's like, you're not really putting your best foot forward here, Hawk.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe this. I mistakenly have thought that this was one of AC/DC's big singles.
It was not a single. Back in Black, Hell's Bells, You Shook Me All Night Long, and Rock and Roll Noise Pollution were the singles for this album.
Yeah, 2 out of those 4 singles are way inferior.
I was bamboozled too, and I found, I'm like, what?
I am thunderstruck. Thunderstruck.
Yeah,
That
this one's awesome. I love this song. This song, rightfully so, ended up on my essential AC/DC playlist.
I might have to come back for the Razor's Edge review, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Even though that means I gotta talk about Stupid Mistress for Christmas.
Oh dear.
I heard that's not one of their best albums.
It's one of those albums where like it psychs you out in the first half, where like, is this gonna be AC/DC's best album? And then the second half you're like, no.
Yeah, most of the good stuff is on the first side of the album. The first half.
Okay. But we get to the next track on the album. I think this, I would consider this to be the first deep cut on the album.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do for money, honey?
Yep, this one's really good. I like the driving rhythm of this one. More great guitar playing from Malcolm and Angus. And I love the breakdown where he goes, "What do you do for money, honey?" That's probably the best part of the song.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the good deep cut on this album. Uh, we did a video a while ago with Led Zeppelin 4 where there was a lack of really good deep cuts, I think. But this album, despite being very famous and having a lot of big songs, has a fair amount of really good deep cuts that we'll get into, starting with this one. And yeah, this is a fun song. It starts off pretty slow, and then that riff kicks in, and it just goes off, and it's so fun. And yeah, Gold Diggers. What do you do for money, honey? So that's about all.
This is another really good song on the album. This just like something about it. I didn't add on the playlist, but I still thought this was a good song. Like there's two songs in the album. I'm like, they're good, but like they're good, just good. This is the third of the. This is like the second of the three tracks that didn't make my playlist, but I still think this is a good song. I think this is a good deep cut. Maybe over time, because I'm new to this. I'm new to AC/DC. This album still kind of new to me. This discography is really new to me. So, I this is a song I could see really growing on me and being like a song that I really like.
I mean, if you watch our Breakfast in America review, I've been listening to that album lately, and Casual Conversations has really grown on me.
Yeah,
I really like that song now.
Hell's Bells and the other song I was talking about that isn't as good might not grow on me like as much, but yeah, this song, even though it didn't make my playlist, I could see it being on my playlist eventually. So there's good news there. We get to the next track on the album, "Giving the Dog a Bone."
This is a song on an AC/DC album. This is my hot take, is that this is not my favorite song on this album. This is my least favorite song on the album. I don't know what it is. I just don't like this song as much as the rest of the album. Still got a good beat to it, but I don't know. Something about it is just like, don't like it as much. That's my hot take for this album.
All right, Giving the Dog a Bone, another kind of more overtly sexual song. And yeah, it's a pretty fun song, but looking at the other song on this album, I like them all a little bit more. This is kind of towards the bottom of my list, but it's still pretty fun. The rest of the songs on this album are absolutely amazing, in my opinion.
Also, is the song title a misprint? Because everything I've seen Given, like Given, like Given.
I don't know why they spell it like that. I don't get that.
Well, typo aside, I love this song. This song is awesome. This is another great. This is an amazing deep cut on the album. This is one. Oh man, I would kill to hear this on the radio. There was an AC/DC hour, and I was able to request a song from this period of the band. I would totally take this song as one of them. Like, really, really good song in my opinion. I get where you're coming from though, Scott. The lyrics are a little not the best, but you know, I still like it. And it reminds me of another song from Aerosmith called 10-inch Record, where
the big old 10-inch record. I haven't even listened to that. I haven't even listened to that album yet. We're going through the Aerosmith albums right now, Tyler and I. We just listened to their debut album, and I liked it pretty much overall. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
so, go ahead. I'll share another comment, but go ahead first.
Maybe at some point, I might start an Aerosmith journey. I know Jacob would want to join. I'll ask if anyone
I'd
else.
join on that. I like what I've heard of their first album and their radio hits.
Cool. But
oddly enough, Walking the Dog was in my top 3 on that album.
Oh
It
boy.
makes the Rolling Stones version look like trash, which it is.
Yeah, it is.
Aerosmith is the definitive one.
Overall, really, really good song. I really like "Giving the Dog a Bone." Really great song.
Yeah. So another just a little nitpick about this song is I feel it gets a little bit repetitive toward the very end.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I will say it's not as cringy as Candy Store Rock.
No.
No.
Oh no. Nowhere near.
No.
Fair enough. Um, but we get to the last song on side one. This is the third deep cut in a row. Let me put my love into you.
This is a good one. Kind of starting off with that creeping guitar with Angus Young setting the mood, and then Brian Johnson just wham, bam, shamalam, or whatever, comes in with his voice and just like once again hits you like a pile of bricks. The way he's like sings the chorus is just very powerful and really just gets the point across that Brian Johnson is not the new Bon Scott, because that's not what he wanted to be, but that Brian Johnson is solidifying his position in AC/DC as his own lead singer.
Yes. This is my favorite deep cut from the album. Out of the a handful of deep cuts, this is my favorite. This is a song that really grabbed me, uh, and I feel like this very much typifies Brian Johnson's style. That his lyrics are a little bit more aggressive, while Bon Scott is a little bit more smooth. But this is really a really good song. I enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, I noticed that the Bon Scott, like the song, his songs kind of have a more na 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 na, if that makes sense, like schoolboy, like middle schoolers passing around jokes kind of vibe to it. And then Brian Johnson feels more like this lazy drug dealer or whatever. I don't know.
It's another good song on the album. This made my top five as well. Yeah, it's another great, great deep cut. Yeah, they're besides. I mean, all three of these deep cuts are at least really good so far. So it just goes to show how great their deep cuts are on this album. But yeah, fantastic. They're really on a roll here after. Yeah, like I said, the first song I'm like, I'm not sure, but then these four songs come out, I'm like, hell yeah, yeah, really, really putting your best foot forward now. Like, great job. But we flipped the record over. We get to the title track, Back in Black.
Yes.
This is definitely in my top 3 AC/DC songs. Wow. What do I need to say about Back in Black? I love the way it starts out like a epic is about to happen with just the drums getting the beat ready, and then right away the guitar just punches you. Ba, ba-da-na, ba-da-na. That's one of the best guitar riffs ever. Like, if you've never heard Back in Black, you've heard that riff at least somewhere, because it's in so many movies and commercials and stuff. I remember at one time it was in like a Walmart commercial, and I had no idea like who the band was or what the song was, but I remember hearing, I'm like, what is the song with the cool riff? And then eventually I found out what it was, and like my mom hates AC/DC, so I was like, oh no, it's an AC/DC song. But like the riff is amazing, and one of Angus Young's best guitar, two of Angus Young's best guitar solos in this song. Angus Young is on fire on this one. Brian Johnson vocally is at the top of his game with this song here. It is an amazing vocal performance. And Phil Rudd's drumming, it's keeping the time, especially whenever he switches it up near the end, whenever they get into that I love that jam section at the end that goes whenever I got my new record player, not my old record player, but my new one that had the fixed cartridge, and my speakers finally were able to be used at their full potential. One of the first songs that we played was Back in Black from Tyler's Robert Ludwig 1980 mastered record, And I just remember just whenever I got to that just going like I felt like the power of the music. Like this is like, wow, this is cool.
All right. Yes. This is. Oh my goodness, I love this song. This. You're right. This should have been the first song on the album. This would have been a great song to open the album with. Um, but yeah, the riff is iconic. This whole song is, but that riff is just iconic. You hear it everywhere in movies and commercials and TV and whatnot. But yeah, this is Brian's signature song, and it's almost like he's rapping almost.
Almost.
He's singing.
Almost is.
And it's pretty fun. And yeah, the rhythm. And just the engine room, Malcolm and Phil and Cliff really holding it down, while Brian and Angus kind of lead the charge, and it's really good. This is some really cool stuff. Yeah, this is great. I love this song. It's great.
Me as well. I'm gonna keep it going here. Keep the train going. This is a great song on the album. You know, hit for a reason. Like I said, there's two singles that I say are more than justified for being singles, and then there's two that I don't think should have been singles. This is one of the great ones of the four. This is a great song. Barely missed out of my top five. This and another hit were conflicting as to being in my top five. I went with the other one, as you can tell. But yeah, in the ranking, it's number 6. So
Nice.
really, just this much. It barely missed out on being on the top in the top 5. Just barely, just a tiny bit, just the tiniest bit. It's so tiny you would have to look under a microscope. But I could always change too. Like, tomorrow I could be like, oh yeah, this is my number 5, and my number 6 is that song. But you change. But we get to the next big hit on the album. We got the two hugest songs on the album back to back. Shook Me All Night Long.
Okay, now we have the other big hit that I was aware of before listening to this album. Because those are the kind of the two songs. That and Shoot to Thrill were the ones that I'd heard before. This one is really good. I love the more laid-back guitar intro. It's not as in-your-face at the beginning. But then Phil Rudd comes in, and you just start getting groovy. And then, like, Brian Johnson comes in, and then you get to that chorus that's going to get stuck in your head. I'm not going to sing it because it's going to get stuck in my head but you all know it. You've heard it a million times on the radio. It gets stuck in your head after you hear it. And Angus Young, another great guitar solo on this one. And an interesting thing about this song is I found out that it loops perfectly because my brother played it one time, and he kept the repeat function on. And you know how it ends with bow do 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 bow bow ba no 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 no. I'm like, what? Did it start over again, or is it just going into another? Oh, it started over again. So if you want to put it on a loop, no one will ever know where it begins and ends.
Nice. All right. Oh my goodness, this is another big hit from this album. A lot of these songs are always played live. Most of this album is always played live. The 4 big songs from this album: Hell's Bells, Back in Black, Shoot the Thrill, You Shook Me All Night Long. These are always played live. And then Rock and Roll and Noise Pollution, I think is sometimes played live, but those are the big 4, always played live. You Shook Me All Night Long is a banger. And I love how in the first verse, you have that, and then Phil Rudd comes in, and it's just Angus and Phil. And then Brian comes in, he starts singing for a while, and then Malcolm starts coming in. And right till they start getting to the chorus, Cliff Williams starts coming in, and they all join in for the chorus, and they keep going, and it's really cool. I just like how it just, you have the 2 guys, and then Brian comes in, everyone starts coming in at different times, and it adds a little bit more layering on the song. It's really cool, I think. And the
It's a
guitar
really
solo is amazing as well. Almost forgot.
Yeah, that's a great guitar solo. This is the song. This is the song that beat out
Oh,
that. This is the one. So yeah, just barely the song edged out over Back in Black. I'm like, which one do I like better? And I'm like, I'll give this one the edge for today. But I mean, I just imagine like while they're recording this, like the studio actually, like when the walls are shaking, like I can just imagine like everything going absolutely nuts while they're singing this, and I do have a good imagination with things like that. Like I just imagine everything going crazy while they're recording this.
Like that George Harrison actually lives in a house with taxidermy animals that will sing along to his song.
oh my god!
Got my mind set on new music video.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, this is a great song. So this is the second of the two singles that I really like, and I'm like, yeah, this great choice for a single. But,
I have another. I have a little tidbit. I forgot almost. "You Shook Me All Night Long" is actually the first song Brian Johnson wrote for this album.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun. He combined his love of cars into it. There's a lot of kind of car metaphors. Kind of all through this one and in "Let Me Put My Love in You," some car metaphors in there.
cool.
Yeah.
We get the next track on the album, "Have a Drink on Me."
Have a drink on me.
I am going to give my thoughts, and then I'm going to go have a drink on me. Because I'm thirsty. But this one is good. This is probably my second to least favorite song on the album, but it's good. It's a party anthem. Like, if you're going to go out with the guys, it's like, have a drink on me. That's what I have to say about it.
Oh, he went to go get a drink. So yeah, I actually, let's just like "You Shook Me All Night Long" has a kind of cool little laid back guitar intro. I think this song goes perfectly with the end of "You Shook Me All Night Long." It's like
I agree.
So I really like it. Anytime I hear "You Shook Me All Night Long" on the radio, as soon as it ends, I'm like, and the beginning of "You Have a Drink on Me" starts playing in my head. I was like, oh. So yeah, this is a pretty fun song. Another deep cut, really good stuff on here. Yeah, just a party drinking song. It's fun.
This song is awesome. I love this song so much. Another amazing deep cut from this album. It's definitely one of my favorite AC/DC songs. In general, it's this and "Give the Dog a Bone" are just two amazing songs on this album that definitely are very underrated. I mean, of course, AC/DC fans would know it because the fans and all that. But in terms of like casual music listeners, casual music fans, these are two really underrated songs. But yeah, this another great song on the album. I really dig it. But we get to the next track on the album. The last deep cut on the album, "Shake a Leg."
Most underrated song on the whole album. So when I first listened to this album, I'm like, this is my least favorite song on the album. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually really good. And it has some of Angus's best guitar playing on the album.
Oh, yeah.
So, the riff is just infectious, and the guitar solo, oh boy. I think this is actually in my top 5 now, oddly enough. So,
all right, "Shake a Leg." This is a crazy song. It's just about being an outcast, kind of like the whole lyrics was like the main character in this song. He's just an outcast, and calling the teacher, they stink. I don't care what they think. They stink, and they tell me I'm a disgrace. I don't care about that. Shake a leg, and yeah, that guitar solo is absolutely insane. It's a really good song too. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's another great song on the album. This is towards the middle / bottom of the album. It's really good. I think this is another great deep cut. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just another great song. I like the vibe of it. another good song. This is the second. No, this is yeah. This is the, no. This is not the second. This barely made it onto my playlist. Now that I'm remembering it, this is the last song that would be on my playlist. But yeah, it's good. I really like it. I like the vibe. We get to the last song on the album, which is the last single on the album, which is "Rock and Roll Ain't No Pollution, Air Pollution, Ain't No
Ain't
Noise
noise
Pollution."
pollution.
I don't, a little tired, as you can tell.
So I like this song for how different it is to the rest of the album. This is a lot bluesier than the rest of the album, a la the Jack. I think it's really cool, and I like the chorus. Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. That gets stuck in my head a lot. I don't know. I kind of like it when AC/DC does a bluesy kind of song, especially when Brian Johnson, oddly enough, can sing the blues pretty well. Tyler showed me this video of Brian Johnson singing and like Slash playing the guitar, and I like, oh, Brian Johnson does the blues pretty well. So
Oh yes, this is a great song closer. I love this song. Um, they made man, this is a really fun. So I always figure this as like the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae that is this album. I think this is one of their best closing tracks. Again, a lot slower, very bluesy, but very powerful when you, especially when you start getting to the chorus. And a little funny story about this song is they were waiting for something and they're just fiddling around, and Malcolm is just like, "Hey Brian, why don't you just say something funny?" Because they were trying to, it's like, let's try and kind of imitate like one of those televangelists, because that kind of thing started happening in like the 70s and 80s with the TV evangelists. And so I guess he just wrote something down and took a drag of a cigarette and, "Hey man, rock and roll ain't no riddle, man. It just makes good sense. Stop sitting on the fence." And he had some sort of like little spiel he did. It was pretty. I think that's really funny. And then the rest of the song starts, and it's quite good. I really like this song. I think this is a great way to end.
Yeah, this is the second single that I didn't think should have been a single. Again, like I said, the bookends are good. This is a good song, but again, pretty weak closer after the 8 really good songs that were in between. Like, the best way to describe it's like you have like 2 okay buns, and they have like high quality meat, high quality tomatoes, high quality lettuce, high quality everything in between. But you got like $1 buns on top and on the bottom. Like, it works, but man, we should have gone for that brioche bun on the top and on the
Yes,
bottom.
the brioche. Yes.
Should have gone for brioche buns, but it's, again, it doesn't really affect the score, but it does affect
for
the
this
rank.
one, they Big Mac'd it, and they put the bun in the middle of the album, which is Back in Black.
I know.
The bun in the middle of the sandwich.
But yeah, it's not this. The opening and the closing track won't affect the score, but it affects the ranking. But Scott, what is your top 5?
My top 5. Number 5 is Shake a Leg. Number 4 is Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Number 3 is going to be Shoot to Thrill. Number 2, You Shook Me All Night Long. And number 1, Back in Black.
All right, so my top 5, I got a couple honorable mentions. Of course, you have to go with What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Shake a Leg, and we'll go with Hell's Bells, and those are pretty good honorable mentions for me. So number 5 is going to be the last song on the album, Rock, Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. 4 is going to be Let Me Put My Love Into You. Number 3 is going to be the title track. Number 2 is going to be You Shook Me All Night Long, and then Shoot to Thrill is number 1 for me.
Cool. My honorable mentions, I'll give. I have 3 big honorable mentions. What Do You Do for Money, Honey, and Back in Black. Those are 3 big honorable mentions. It's like 8, 7, and 6. My 2 least favorite songs are Rock and Roll Ain't No Pollution and Hell's Bells. My number 5 is going to be You Shook Me All Night Long. Number 4, Let Me Put My Love Into You. Number 3, Shoots a Thrill. Number 2, Give the Dog a Bone. Uh, Number 1, Have a Drink on Me. That's my favorite song
wow.
on this album. I really like it. But Scott, what are you going to rate this album from 1 through 10?
I'm gonna give it a number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. This is my favorite AC/DC album, but I think Giving the Dog a Bone brought it down a whole point.
All right, for me, it's another 10. I like every song on this album, even though I like Giving the Dog a Bone a little bit less than the others. Every song on this album is really good. This is my favorite album.
Cool. Going from what I said about weak album opener and weak album closer, I still like those songs. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Nice.
I liked every song on the album, so I don't think the bookend should really affect it that much. But
Unless you're Simon and Garfunkel.
yep. However, this is my second to least favorite album so far because of the bookends. I will say I do like it. I do like it more than High Voltage, but besides that, I do have it under Dirty Deeds, Let There Be Rock, Highway to Hell, and Power Rage. If the album was arranged differently, this would either be my second or third favorite album from them. I don't know, but yeah, the track listing does affect the album negatively in terms of the ranking, but still got to give it a 10 out of 10 just because of how great the songs are. As you know, the 8 songs in between are really good. Like I said, you have like this high quality thing in between, and the bookends. I don't know. I don't think Hell's Bells is a great opener. I don't think Rock and Roll ain't Noise Pollution is the best closer either. That's just my opinion though. Of course, I know there's gonna be a lot of people who disagree with me because this is, one of the highest selling albums of all time. So of course, people are gonna disagree with me. Fair enough, but yeah, that's our thoughts on Back in Black. Anything you guys want to say before we close out?
Well, get ready for the next album because they go even harder, I think. It's a great For Those About to Rock is a great follow-up to this album. So I would definitely, and it has my favorite AC/DC song, which is the title track.
That's what I'm going to leave everyone with is just, for those about to rock, we salute you.
Cool. My brief thoughts at the end. Really good follow-up to Highway to Hell. Again, Brian Johnson, he did a pretty good job at, taking Bond's place. Like I said with High Voltage, this is like kind of like a new album for him. This is a new band basically. So, I'm not expecting I'm not expecting another Power Rage or another Highway to Hell. This is his first album as a lead vocalist for the band, so I wasn't expecting absolute perfection. But hey, he did a great job. I still got a really high score out of it. So there's that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Next week we will be covering For Those About to Rock. It's gonna be a blind spot to me because I've never heard any of the songs from that album before. So
You've never heard the title track to it?
Never heard it. It wasn't on.
That's AC/DC's best song in my opinion.
They don't play it on classic rock radio. So
I've heard it on there's real cannons on that song.
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
It's insane.
But yeah, I'll listen to that on my own when I get to it. But thank you guys for watching again. I'll see you guys on the next one.